We're going to be reacting to a video by Basic Nonsense called How the New Right Conquered Libertarianism.
If you're a Gen Z right-winger, you've probably had the libertarian phase. We all did. But now chances are
Unfortunately, I'm still stuck in my libertarian phase. Please, you guys, pray for me in the comment section down below.
you've become more authoritarian. How did that happen? The libertarian slogan is, "Don't tread on me," a call to be left alone. But what happens when someone does anyway? When not just individuals, not just the state, but an entire global elite violates the non-aggression principle, especially in such covert and ruthlessly effective ways as today. Should libertarianism be "don't tread on me, pretty please"? Or should it be "don't tread on me or else"? Your answer to that question is what set you on the path to the new right. Because once you try to actually defend your rights, you realize something harsh. You, alone, can do nothing against a coordinated multi-state actor that doesn't play by your rules.
Okay. Does this make someone not a libertarian? Does the fact that, oh, the state is really good at being a state means that libertarianism is not correct anymore? The fact that the state is nothing more than a racketeer of violence and murder and rape and slavery, just because they're really good at it sometimes means that I stop believing in that I think the state is a force for good now or can be a force for good?
The libertarian boogeyman was always the state. But to defend yourself against the leviathan of globalism, you've realized you must wield the state as a tool. It's like the gun debate. The liberal fears guns because of what they can do in the wrong hands. But we know it's not the gun that's dangerous, it's the user. Power is the same. It's a tool, neither moral nor immoral. Its stance is dependent on the wielder. Sure,
No, this is incorrect because the fact of power is not a physical tool like a gun. A gun has no agency or will of its own, so there's nothing that you can attribute that is good or evil to a gun. But when you attribute to the powers of the state, obviously the powers of the state is the actions of individuals performing actions. The state is not the gun wielded by the cop. The state is the cop using the power and the authority of the perceived state in order to enact their wills.
power corrupts. That's a fair warning. But it's still better in our hands than the hands of those who want to destroy us. Some
I mean, no, if you were a libertarian, you would realize it would be not good in anyone's hands, because that's kind of the point of libertarianism, that the wielding of coercive power to suppress and oppress people is always wrong. So if you're saying that you were in a libertarian phase, that once upon a time you did feel like at one point that you felt like the state was wrong for exercising power and oppression over people, but nowadays you want to use the state for your own means, that means that you've completely abandoned the principle that it was wrong to begin with. How do you even reach such a conclusion?
libertarians love to say that we don't need a state, that private defense and mutual agreements can protect us from the leviathan. Alright then, go ahead. Establish your libertarian societies. What's stopping you? Oh, right. The leviathan. The one that won't even let you build the tools you need to defend yourself from it.
Does this negate libertarianism in any way just because not a lot of people believe in libertarianism, which means that there's not a lot of people that can start a libertarian society? That doesn't negate anything of the fact that libertarianism is the moral code for justice. It is the most moral code for justice.
And so, the new right was born, when libertarians realized the threat of their own extinction. When we realized the stakes were too high to keep fearing power itself.
Threat of your own extinction? Own meaning that you're a libertarian, meaning that you believe that using and wielding the power of the state is always immoral. So there is no us. You were never included in this party. You were simply in a phase and you were just grifting and you were just trying on new political ideology clothes as some sort of fashion statement, but never actually adhered to the doctrine or the creed to begin with.
It's not about abandoning principles. It's about proving them in real life, not just in online debate forums.
It's always online. This is the thing about these people. It's just like, we're all online. We don't do anything. We have no significant power to change the world. So why are you trying to form your belief system on some sort of power fantasy of when you are in control, what you would do? I mean, this is exactly what you're doing. You are exactly abandoning principles.
Marxism is said to be good in theory, bad in practice. That's nonsense. It's idiotic in theory and murderous in practice. But libertarianism actually is good in theory, which means if we want to test it in practice, we first need power to enforce it. Now,
That is so idiotic. If the theory is power over people is bad, then why would we need to use power over people to prove that it's good? It would completely, utterly defeat the entire purpose of libertarianism. This guy had never had an understanding of libertarianism. This guy had a phase where he liked Hoppian edits and liked the colors black and yellow flashing on screen and was enamored by the funk music, but never actually adhere to the creed or believed in the belief system to begin with.
the world order is collapsing, democracy is dying, and as Polybius wrote 2000 years ago, when democracies fall, monarchies rise. Every vulture is already circling the crown, so why not seize it for yourself? Even if only
Because it's wrong. Like this video makes no sense. It doesn't explain how libertarians become unlibertarian, other than the fact that some people who used to call themselves libertarians were never libertarians to begin with, and once that they realize that they are not what they say that they start being something else, like a monarchist.
to make sure no one else does. After all, some of the freest eras in history were ironically under monarchs, kings who had absolute power on paper, but rarely used it. Compare that to our democracies today, limited on paper, but in practice controlling every aspect of your life.
Don't believe, the saying lies, damned lies, and statistics. I mean, the fact of the matter is that medieval peasants versus now is such a broad category. Medieval peasants, are we talking about from the first 1,000 year AD, 1000 AD? Are we talking about 1500 AD? Because in the former, we're in the middle of the medieval period. But in 1500, we're in the middle of the early modern period. Everything looked drastically different between then and the 1500s. So like what what this is where like I have a problem with this, like, oh, monarchies were better. I'm like, like I'm aware that there's been certain situations in medieval times, if you want to even include the early modern period and said medieval time, but I mean, the fact of the matter is that I wouldn't want to live in really any time period than right now. And the reason why I wouldn't want to live in any time period than right now is that I wouldn't be able to study libertarianism like I do with if it wasn't for the fact that I was born right now. Because let me tell you what, you trying to pick and choose which plantation master you prefer the better. Oh, the plantation master, Mr. Jones, he has a better way of managing his slave plantation than Mr. John. It's all still wrong. Like, even if I were to accept that whatever time period you want to call the medieval time period was better than now, that's not the point. Also, I doubt it.
Of your life. The freer you want to be, the stronger not only you, but your family and your community and your people must be. And that's the final, undeniable logic. It's not a betrayal of libertarianism, it's the fulfillment of it. The old libertarian asked to be left alone. The new right demands it.
I don't know how you demand to be left alone when you're literally trying to establish a monarchy dictatorship to control enslaved people. That's not very libertarian. This video is a fucking joke.